Okay, so writing down the fraction in its simplest form, first thing we need to do is just count how many pieces there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 pieces, so it is out of 8. And then if we look at the green section, it is taking up just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So that is 6 of them out of the 8. Okay, so it then does ask to simplify. So before we can simplify, we need to think about what we can do to both top and bottom of the fraction. So there needs to be a common factor. So think of the factors of 6. The factors, if you're patient, of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3, where the factors of 8 are 1 and 8, 2 and 4, which tells us that both numbers are divisible by 2. And we could have also spotted that because they are both even numbers. So dividing both top and bottom by 2 is going to give us 3 out of 4. And if we look at that number, 3 out of 4, 3 is only divisible by 1 and 3, and 4 is only divisible by 1 and 4 and 2, therefore there are no common factors. And if we actually look back to the picture, what we can see is if we would have split it into quarters in the first place, we've got 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters out of the 4. So that is our final answer. If we now have a look at shading some fractions, so in the first one, we need to shade 2/3, 2 out of every 3. So there are 3 there, so I just need to shade in 2 of them. On the next question, I need to shade 4 out of 12. Just check how many there are. So there are 4 in the first row, 8 in the second, and then that makes 12. So I can just shade 4 out of the 12. If I look at the next one, it's asking me to do 3 quarters. So again, 3 of the pieces out of the 4. And on this last one then, it says shade 1 out of 8. If I look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that section there. So if I want to shade 1 in 8, I just shade one of those pieces. If I've then got another section of 1 in 8, I'm going to shade in another one. So I've shaded in 1 out of every 8, which means I've actually shaded in, so 1 out of 8, which means I've actually shaded in 2 out of the 16 that are there. And again, this should be one of the big ideas, equivalent fractions. You can see that they are equivalent if we times both sides by 2. So an 1/8 is equivalent to 2 out of 16, which is why we've shaded in 2 out of 16. If we go back to question 2, we shaded in 4/12. In the exam, you could be asked what the fraction is in its simplest form. So if we look at the fraction 4 out of 12, both top and bottom are divisible by 4. So if we divide by 4, that leaves us with 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And if we now look back to that question, if I split it so I can see a third, I've got 1/3, another third, and a final third, so 3/3. And in the pink, we've got the 1 section shaded. Okay.